able to celebrate it. But before we get into celebrating Afrik Impact this year, let's just step back, go to 6 years ago, to the first Afrik Impact. Tell us a little bit about how the idea of Afrik Impact came and why was it necessary for Afrik Impact to happen.
So thank you so much again, Amadou, for having me. And I wanted to first and foremost congratulate you for such an outstanding job that you've been doing, not only for ALG, but for the community at large. And it really put us at ease knowing that the future of this community is in good hands with some of the people that we have, like you, like Usman, and a lot of other future leaders that we have. Just wanted to congratulate you. And again, Afrik Impact, as the name said, if you've been around the African Leadership Group, that you will know that everything we do, everything we talk about is ways to have impact in the community. Mm-hmm. And as African immigrant, I've been here for over 20 years, and I've seen it for many years. People were always talking about the impact of the Hispanic community that they have. They have Cinco de Mayo, and people talking about the impact of the Asian community, which is great celebration, an amazing accomplishment for this community. But we never had a platform that was showcasing the impact that the African immigrant had in the state of Colorado. But also to keep in mind that as African immigrant, we are business owners. Mm-hmm. We own homes. We pay taxes. We create employment. We always contribute to the development of this great state that we call home, that we all love. But nobody ever get to talk about that impact that we have. So we took it on us to say, you know what, it's time for us to have the opportunity to celebrate proudly and loudly the impact we have in this great state of Colorado. And yes, this year will be the 6th edition. The first year, Amadou, was half a day, actually, and we didn't even call it Afrik Impact. We call it African Dress Night. But it was a great success. The community show up, the community supported, and the of Afrik Impact. And this year, next month, we'll be celebrating the 6th edition, and we're so excited about it.
Yes, and that is indeed a great thing. And as we said, this saying goes around: if you want to read a book, the story you want to read is not written, then write it. If the film you want to see is not produced, then do it. But if nobody's celebrating you and you know your worth, you know your contribution, then you go ahead and celebrate yourself. And that is what Afrik Impact is for. It is for us to celebrate the impact that we have within the African immigrant community here in the state of Colorado. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your vision in doing that. But you just said it, going from a half day to a week and now to a whole month.
Yes, it's quite an endeavor. As you know, it's a big task. But let me start by saying this: we wouldn't be able to be here to celebrate Afrik Impact for this 6th edition without the support of the entire community.
Yes.
And as you know, African Leadership Group is a very, very inclusive family. So I just want to make the point, when we talk about the community, it's not just African immigrant. As you know, if you've been around the organization, you know the African American are very involved and are part of the organization. The Caucasian are very involved, the Asian. So this is a family affair that everybody is involved in it. Now, if we are here to celebrate the 6th edition of Afrik Impact, it's mainly due because of the community, how they show up, how they believe, how they support. Because without them, we wouldn't be here. Now, obviously, when somebody hear about an entire month of celebration, how do you find the resources to do that? So we want to let everybody know this is not ALG putting together all the event. So we have Taste of Ethiopia that's happening. We have the soccer tournament that's happening. So all those things are taking place during the month of August. So all these things are part of the Afrik Impact celebration. So if you are out there part of a community and you want to put together something during the month of August, we would love to have it included in our program, promote it, support you, so we can all together have an Afrik Impact Month celebration that everybody sees themselves in it.
Yes, thank you. And it is indeed a community, and it's a community celebration. And as Papa just said, there's a lot of other events put on by other smaller organizations, other organizations that are working with the African Leadership Group. There's also the Dashiki Day, there's a tournament. And so when we say a community, it's also a community of not just people, but it's a community of smaller organizations within our communities, right? Because we have organizations that tend to specific nationalities that still want to celebrate another part of this bigger community. So if you're out there and you're head of an organization, if you're out there and you're head of a group that would like to celebrate the African Impact with us, the African Immigrant Month with us, then we are welcoming you. Please come on in. Our doors are open. Our offices have been open, actually. So just walk right in and we'll work with you. And talking about celebrating the African Immigrant Month, right? About 2 years ago, and this is going to be the third edition where we'll have that proclamation. Tell us a little bit about that proclamation of having the governor proclaim the August as the African Immigrant Month here in the state of Colorado.
You know, Amadou, to tell you the truth, actually, it was a dream of the communities to have such a thing, but we were not expected to have it as soon as it happened. And when the governor came in 2019 and issued the proclamation, I mean, and I remember it as it was yesterday, so it was just an amazing feeling. And it tells us that as the governor of Colorado, as elected official, he get to see the impact that we are having. So he issued a proclamation in 2019. He issued a proclamation in 2020. He's coming back to issue the proclamation in 2021. What does it tell us? It tells us as community, not as African Leadership Group or as Papu or as Amadou, as the entire community. And again, I want to caution people, when I say the community, it's not just African immigrants, because the work we do, we have a lot of friends, a lot of funders, a lot of supporters that believe into the vision to help us. So this is not just the work of one community. But to have something like a proclamation to be issued by the governor, the highest level in our great state, to recognize the accomplishment and the achievement for African immigrants is a big deal to us. So this is something worth celebrating. This is something worth honoring. And who's the first one that need to celebrate this? Us. So it means we all need to show up. We all need to be part of this celebration. This is not just for the African Leadership Group. We need the other community, the Ethiopian, Eritrean, Sudanese, Congolese, wherever you are. So come and celebrate, because this is for you. And whatever you've been doing with your small community, contribute to this high-level achievement. So I am just excited and honored to have our community recognized for such a thing.
Thank you, thank you. And as you guys just heard, the African Impact it's the sum of all the work that all the organizations do, and then bringing that at the end of the year, which for us is the month of August, and celebrating our achievements. Not only celebrating our achievements, it's a celebration, but it's also a way for us to cast the vision for the next year, right, and talk about the things that we would like to do. But before we talk about, let's talk a little bit about the celebration. Now we're coming to African Impact year 6, which we are beginning with the first Saturday of August, on Saturday, August 7th.
Yes.
We are opening it with a celebration. Last year was hard. COVID was on. People wasn't able to go out, go and celebrate. And we are opening it with a community cultural celebration. Why was it important for this event this year to start with that community cultural celebration day?
Yes, and Amadou, with that, I would just want to start by recognizing the fact that we just came out of a very challenging year and a half with the pandemic. But as an organization, as a community, we show our strength, how resilient we are as a community. Even during the pandemic, we were still able to figure out a way to host a virtual Afrik Impact celebration. Now, this year we are looking forward to having it in person. We will, but I just want to let people know it's highly important that you go and get vaccinated. If you have not and you want to help, please reach out to us. But please, the only thing that can save us, the only thing that can make sure that we can celebrate Afrik Impact in person without having worries is by having everybody in our community get vaccinated. So now this year, and I want to, when we talk about the entire month, it requires a lot of resources. Yes. It requires a lot of manpower. So that's why everything we do it in partnership and collaboration. So I want to really thank the Levitt Pavilion Denver for really partnering with us to host our community celebration on August 7th. I don't know if you've been at the Levitt Pavilion, but they organize series of free concerts throughout the summer. And this year, Afrik Impact is one of the events they're going to be organizing. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. We have an international artist by the name of Carl Ludi coming with his entire band to do, and I want to talk more about the play later, but we're going to have vendors, we're going to have a play, we're going to have fashion show. It's just going to be a fun community celebration that everybody could come out, a family-friendly event. Bring the kids, but make sure you bring, a mat to lay on the grass or a chair or whatever, but just come to have fun. But again, to want to thank the Levitt Pavilion, to want to thank the city of Denver for really helping us and supporting us to have this event.
Yes, and it's a great thing to be able to have partners in this, in the work that we do, because as you just said, it's the work of the community that we have to do with the community, and we have to be able to do that with partners. And that's also a call to sponsors out there who want to support, other people who have venues, who want to work with us. We have other events, and we're always looking to incorporate more organizations and more people so that we can offer better resources to our community. But you want to talk about the play, and the theme of this year is standing taller and prouder than ever. Standing taller and prouder than ever. We just talked about the year that we came from, but we also talked about how important the community is. And when we talk about the community, we're talking about everyone that's around us, right? We're not just talking about the African immigrant community, but we're talking about the communities that have welcomed us, the communities that have worked with us. And this play is a way of showcasing the humanity in all of us and what brings us together.
Yeah, Amadou, you brought up a very, very good point, and I wanted to pause so we can talk about it a little bit more, especially the year we just came out of. And as you mentioned, this year's theme is standing taller and prouder than ever. And I'm going to repeat it one more time. Standing taller and prouder than ever. What had happened for the last year and a half is the pandemic hit us and hit us hard. We lost precious life in our community due to the pandemic and due to other things. But we wanted to also pray for the soul and those lives that were lost. Our kids had to go to online schooling for the entire year. We found ourselves having to stay home, and in some cases that created a lot of mental health issue. It was just, and a lot of people have lost their job. ALG was out there distributing meals. So we've seen it all from challenges and issue, not to talk about the political division that we just went through from this country, where Republican and Democrat and all these things that we saw. And we as immigrants, we were victims. We were caught in the middle of everything that was happening in this country. So we received message of hatreds. We received people that telling us go back home. We received that people that telling us you're not part of this country. And as far as we are concerned, this is home for us. So we went through a horrific year and a half. So what do as community? We still want to stand up taller and prouder than ever. That's how we decided to come up with this theme. But we know that this is not just for us. We are not the only community that went through this. A lot of other communities, the Hispanic community went through this, the Black community went through this, the Caucasian community went through this. We wanted to have a message of unity because we believe that this country is what we call the melting pot. We believe that this country is a country of immigrants. We believe that this country is a country where a dream can become a reality. And we just wanted to make sure that we showcase that message of unity, and we do this in collaboration with everybody that is part of this great nation we call the United States of America.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for preaching. Thank you for preaching. Yes, and it's a lot of things that we've went through. But as you said, we stood taller and prouder, even through it all, right? Whether it is ALG distributing meals for 4 days a week, right? Driving around the community and distributing meals, whether it is us hosting vaccine clinics for community members and other communities that live around us to come and get vaccinated, and also we had earlier last year a cash program where community members who were struggling, we had a cash assistance program, and it's a lot of of things. And also for that caste system program, there were communities outside of our community, our immediate community, that benefited from that. Which also shows that we are always working in collaboration. And when we say community, we truly mean the bigger community, and not just those that live immediately with us, right? But still talking about August 7th. There's also a young generation of first immigrants, second generation immigrants, and this year especially we are, bringing local artists. Most of them are African immigrants. How important is it for us to reach out to that generation, and for that second generation or first generation of immigrants to also feel as part of ALG, even though they may be born here and this feels home, but for also to them to know that our resources are for them and that they can help us and we can help them?
Another very valid question, Amadou. And I believe that during this year and a half, every single human being, wherever you have been, wherever you were, you did something to help somebody. I believe that. And we want you to join us on August 7th so we can celebrate you too. Because you've done something to help somebody go through some of this tough time, to overcome whatever they were facing. Again, this August 7th, the month of August, is a month of celebration. We want to celebrate you, we want to celebrate our community, and we want to do it together. Now, to come back to your question, Amadou, there's something we call identity crisis.
Yes.
And let me touch on it, what it looks like a little bit. I am an African immigrant. I was born and raised in Senegal, where I have amazing value that I acquire living and growing in Senegal. Now I live in this country. I have kids that were born here. Our children, they identify themselves as black. So in some cases, while they're home, they have to be Africans because they are exposed with this African culture and with parents that are raising them based on their culture. They leave the household, they go to school, they go outside. They are exposed to the American culture where they have to literally be an American to fit in. So when you talk about the next generation, when you talk about putting something like we are including the younger generation, that's what the African Leadership Group is about. That's what the Afrik Impact is about. So our children can identify the great things that this country has to offer and the value that they had from Africa, to put them together and to be the best citizen of the world. Now, as an organization, everybody knows that we are a very action-oriented organization. When we talk about this vision are backed with action that we implement on a daily basis to make all these things become a reality. So if you are a youngster from Africa or from wherever, and you identify yourself into what I'm explaining and what I'm talking about, please join us, because you will be able to add value, you will be able to transform life, and most importantly, you will be able to be comfortable in your own skin of who you are. So we have local artists that's going to be performing. But guess what they're going to be performing? They're going to take part of the music tradition they know from Africa and incorporate it into the music that they know into this United States and call it whatever they want to call it, Afro, whatever. So
Afrobeat, Afrofusion.
Yes. So I look forward to seeing that, because I'm an older generation guy, so I don't get to see those things. But so for me, those things are very, very important, that we bring the two worlds together and have our younger generation feel comfortable and knowing that they have an identity and they should be proud of it.
Great, and it's that part of feeling comfortable, right? And being yourself, because we always talk about being at the table, right? Yes. But if you go to the table as an empty bottle, you have nothing to give. You are only there to take, and you can only give if you know who you are and are comfortable with what you have and are able to bring that to the table and do that cultural exchange that this great country has offered us, which is that melting pot that you were talking about earlier. But we also have Kaludi headlining this great event.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Kaludi. He was here last year.
Yes.
He will also be here this year. with the full band. Last year, because of the COVID and everything that was going on, we weren't able to have his full band and have a great concert open to the community. There was a limited seating, but this year it's an open venue. Again, we're doing it with the Levitt Pavilion, and we can take up to 5,000 people.
Yes.
So go ahead and register with the Levitt Pavilion right now. You can register. Also find the link on our website, and make sure that you register, because tickets are they're going really fast. I know you just heard me say it's 5,000, but tickets are going really, really fast. So make sure you get your ticket as soon as possible. Tell us a little bit about Carlo D. Tell us also about the vendors, the food trucks. There will be food from all over Africa and food from all over the world there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, again, this is a community celebration. It's a free event. When Amadou mentioned that go and register, please, you will be surprised if you wait. You might not be able to get in. Go visit our website, usalg.org, and you will be able to register. Now, we're talking about standing taller and prouder. And I think one of the main things that people from this country, us, need to do, we need to open up to the rest of the world. We need to be willing to learn from what the other countries have to offer. And I believe that the best way to start that is through culture,
Yes.
through music, through art. And we have the amazing opportunity to have Carlo D, an international, well-known artist that play all kind of music. Okay, he can sing in French, he can sing in Wolof, he can sing in English, and he's coming with the entire band. So everybody will have the opportunity. If you haven't discovered Senegalese music, if you haven't discovered world music, this will be your opportunity to hear from Carlo. And I can tell you, he's also an amazing performer, great dancer. So Carlo D, look him up, Carloud. Look him up, you will be amazed. Now, last year he was here because of the pandemic. He did an acoustic performance. This year he's bringing the entire band, meaning you're going to have the talking drums, you're going to have Senegalese drum performance. So it's going to be fun. Again, August 7th at Levitt Pavilion. Now, I'm going to mention about the food vendors. So if you are somebody that enjoy international food like me, so we're going to have vendors from South Africa, we're going to have vendors from Senegal, we're going to have food vendors from Mexico. So it's going to be one place you're going to walk in and you get a chance to taste food almost from all over the world. You don't want to miss it out. We're going to also have art vendors. We're going to have clothes vendor. That's the place to be on August 7th. We just went through Juneteenth. We just finished the Black Art Festival. Now, Afrik Impact in August will be the place to be on August 7th.
August 7th, that is definitely the place to be. It is a cultural celebration. It is a one-stop for everything that you want. All food from all over the world, from food from Ethiopia. I know a lot of you are always talking about the injera. Come get the best injera. Come get the best jollof from the Senegalese food trucks. Come get, the best Southern African food from the Soweto food truck, Taste of Soweto food truck. Come get from great tacos from the Mexican food truck that will be there. So it will be food all over the world, African art, clothing from all over the places. It's the one place to be. It's a one-stop for everything. But now,
and the Ethiopian coffee ceremony.
Don't forget about that, guys. If you know me, you know that I love coffee. It's one of the things that it's just my thing. But we had a Ethiopian coffee ceremony at the Black Art Festival this Friday, and it's one of the best coffees I've had in my life.
Sing drums
one of the best coffees I've had in my life. The drumming ceremony, it was a great experience. It was a dance-off. I was waiting for Papa to dance, but he did not. If you want to see him dance, come to the 7th, because he will definitely dance. We will force him to dance.
I'll show you my move for sure, including, and I'll have Professor join me. Along. He has amazing dance move as well.
I don't know about Professor, but Papa will definitely be dancing there. So moving on from the 7th, because African Pie is not also just a celebration, right? As I said earlier, it's a way for us to cast the vision for the next year and talk about the things that we do. When we say when we talk about leadership, African leadership group, and we talk about African impact, there's a word that always comes again. It's that word impact, right? And when we talk about African leadership group, we know there are three things that we focus on. It is the educational impact, the social impact, and the economic impact. Right after August 7th, on Monday, August 9th, we have our education forum, and we know education is important in everything that we do, and the theme for that is standing with our children and parents for better education. Standing with our children and parents for better education. We just talked about everything that happened with COVID, and one of the things, one of the groups that was hardly hit are the students and their parents.
Yep.
Parents having to juggle working at home and being a teacher all of a sudden. Kids who did not have that social environment, who weren't able to go to school, see their friends, but they were able to now, they were forced to, go to virtual school, but also they didn't have that help. The teacher was not there. You couldn't just walk up to your teacher or go, but it was all virtually, and it was a really, really hard hit. And we know within our communities, there's still a lack of resources. Families didn't have enough computers. Families don't have good enough Wi-Fis. Parents are working 2 jobs, so it was really, really hard. Tell us a little bit about the programs that we did here at the ALG to help our families amidst the COVID pandemic.
And I want to give a shout out to Davida for helping us design this amazing logo and the new branding. So if you've been to the African Leadership Group website lately, you will see the upgrade. We just wanted to extend our heartfelt gratitude and thanks to the Davida Mercury team. Thank you so much for your support. Amadou, August 9 is one of the days that I look forward to the most. I mean, it's something that's dear to my heart. I'm very excited about this program. Why? Because it's about education. It's about our children. It's about our future. It's about everything that this organization stands for. Without education, we strongly believe that as a community we will not be able to strive. Without our children, we strongly believe that our community will not strive. Without parents having access to the resources, because choice without knowing is not choice. And another thing that's very important, quite often people have a tendency to identify our problem, identify the solution, and bring it to us. And as you said, if you've been around this organization, I don't even want to say long enough, but just for a few times, you've heard this saying, we say all the time, if you are not at the table, you are on the menu.
Yes.
What do we mean by that, especially when it comes to the education forum? First of all, we'll be celebrating our children. And I'm very excited, and I get myself in trouble. All the kids will be picked up by limo services. So because they are our future leaders, we need to celebrate them. Let's not forget also, they were victims. They went through a tough year themselves. All of a sudden had to learn about how do I navigate Zoom? How do I do on but they went through it and were very successful. So we need to celebrate them. So on August 9, which is that Monday at the Hyatt, from 4 to 6, there will be a program that Usman and his team will be putting together to celebrate the kids. They will be having a red carpet. Okay, they're going to walk through a red carpet, and Professor and his videography team will be out there to record this amazing moment for them. And they're going to have Shark Tank. We're going to have academic recognition for some of the great achievement. So we're going to have great speaker from them. So we're going to celebrate the children first. And I'm very excited about it. If you care about education, if you care about our children, please join us to celebrate these kids. And again, you can visit the website usalg.org to have more information. And right after that, Amadou, we're going to have what I call the first panel. But let me tell you who are the panel that's going to be joining this education forum. We have the new DPS superintendent, Mr. Alex Marrero, that's just new in town, and this will be his first event that he's going to be appearing at. So we are the first one to have him, and we're going to hear from him. We have the deputy superintendent from APS. We have the president of DPS board of director. We also have somebody from the Board of Education
State.
at the state level. And most importantly, we have one of our own, a parent, that's going to be sitting on the panel as well. Now, there are three things that we identify that impact our community, especially when it comes to education. School choice is one of them. Mental health is one of them. Transportation is one of them. Loss of education is one of them. School funding is one of them. Curriculum is one of them. So we came up with 10 topics that's relevant to our community, that's relevant to our parents, that's relevant to our children. And at each table, there will be a topic, and we'll have 10 parents around the table, and they all going to discuss about it. How are we impacted by this? And what do we think could help us to solve it? And each table will have a spokesperson that will stand up and talk directly to the panelists. You know, as I mentioned before, in the past, people will identify the problem and bring us a solution. We're going to reverse it this time. People are going to hear from us first. We will tell them, here are the things that we are facing as a challenge, and here are the things that we think could solve it. Now the panelists will get a chance to hear from the community first, and hopefully we'll work together to identify the solution. So please, pin it down on your calendar. And if you want to participate in this conversation, you're more than welcome to join us on Monday, August 9. Amadou.
Yes, thank you. And it's the thing that we are asking from our leaders, from our elected officials, is the thing that we're doing. What we're asking is to get the community buy-in, to ask the community what their problems are, to ask them what they think that the solutions are, so that we can propose those solutions to our elected officials and to our leaders, so that those solutions can be applied. Because it's so easy to draw something up and bring it to the table, but if you don't have the buy-in of the community, that thing will not work. And as you said, we are reversing that situation and doing it right now. And we talked earlier about the kids, and we are celebrating these kids because they deserve the celebration. Yes. These kids are with us, and they're not just with us, during the school year. Even now in the summer with the youth empowerment program, even after school with the tutoring program that we started, these kids are there at least 2-3 times a week, right, working with us, doing programs and working on projects, even outside of school, on top of the school work that they have. And now, if during the summer, they are also coming. And we have, as you said, the kids are the future of our community, and we know that within our community we have business owners, and part of that is why we're having a Shark Tank, because a lot of these kids have great ideas. They're already thinking about having their businesses at 12, 16, 15, having their own businesses. And that Shark Tank is not just a kid Shark Tank or not just a play. It's something to be taken seriously. We've worked with those kids. We've seen the ideas they have. Some of them have already designed their logos and know exactly what it is that they want to do. And those are some of the great ideas that may be some of the great business owners within our community. And so it is important for us to celebrate that. We also have some of the kids doing a presentation on the different African regions. And these are kids from a different region, learning about a different African region other than the one they are from, to give you a presentation on that. And so, if you want to learn more about the African, the African continent, we know it is a large continent, even outside of your region. We have kids that are interested with learning more about the culture, learning more about the continent, and giving that celebration to you, so that we can know more about our diverse and amazing cultures that we have within the African continent. And tell us a little bit about our keynote speaker. Earlier, we talked about learning from the other countries, right? Seeing what works outside and bringing it in. Again, we talked about the cultural exchange, right? Whether it is through food, through music, but the exchange has also to be beyond just that culture. It has to be incorporated within the business, has to be incorporated when it comes to education. So it is going outside, seeing what's working and bringing it in, so that we can have a better education system. And again, that's what our theme is standing with our children and parents for better education, and part of that is seeing what's working outside and bringing it in. Tell us a little bit about our keynote speaker for the education, Professor Fulobas, all the way from Paris, France.
Yeah, and again, an amazing guy, but also I want you to take the time to thank all the parent engagement committee members that have done an amazing job identifying the topic that we're going to be talking about. So just want to thank you for your dedication and commitment to the education of our children. I also want to thank all the teachers during this pandemic year that was really helping, making sure that our kids can catch up on their homework. So all the teachers out there, just know that we are very grateful. We want to thank you. Also, the volunteers that are working on the youth empowerment committee, Liz, yourself, and Uzi, and everybody else that's involved, because we wouldn't be able to do all this work without you guys, the work that you do day in and day out with the kids. Now, when it comes to Professor Fulobas, yes, so he's originally from Senegal, but the former director and head of every university. So this guy is all about education, and he really got the chance to travel the entire world and really get the chance to witness and learn about different school systems. He will be able to tell us what other education system should we learn from, what else is working, because we know that some countries have done extremely well, and to be quite frank, better than the United States.
Yes.
Let's just put it out there. That's reality. Some country was able to handle this pandemic without having any delay, without any kids falling behind on anything. So he will be able to share. So my ask to the community, to the skill leaders, just to be open when it comes to learning from other countries. So that's what Professor Fulobas will be bringing on the table. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. This guy has a couple of PhD, very smart and highly intelligent. So he will be able to share with us what other program, education system around the world that we could learn from and be open to it.
Great. And after the education, again, as we said, this is a full month of celebration. The first week is we are putting it on. We have a couple of different events. It's also a whole month for celebration, and we are still incorporating all events out there from a smaller organization, from other groups that are looking to be part of this celebration. Again, it's a celebration for our community, not only the African immigrants, but all the communities around us, everybody who has supported us, everybody who has welcomed us. And that is right after Monday, August 9th. So now we've talked about Saturday, August 7th. If you're just joining us, that's our cultural celebration. You don't want to miss that. It will be at the Levitt Pavilion from 4 p.m. Doors open at 3 p.m. and the program will start from 4 p.m. to 12 p.m. So it's a 6 hours full program. Fun. It's a very fantastic program. You don't want to miss it. On Monday, August 9th, we are having our education forum at the Hyatt Regency in Aurora, Denver. So that is the Hyatt Regency in Aurora, Denver. And right after that, Wednesday, August 11th, we are heading into our business development and economic summit. And that is the theme of this year's U.S. and African markets, building a sustainable, winning and competitive business culture post-COVID.
Yes. And right after the bat, Amadou, to say, we know that the vast majority of members of our community own some type of business, small entrepreneur. And we felt like it was very important for us to really put together a program that mentioned all the resources, because let's keep in mind, the pandemic was extremely challenging for business owners, small business owners. And I want to put out there, because I know we have a lot of members of our community that drive Uber. If you are an Uber driver, just know you are an entrepreneur. You have your own business that you need to operate. And as a community leader, as an organization, we identify that usually we are the last one to know about resources that exist for us to take advantage of it. I sit on the Energize Colorado Executive Board of Directors, where the state of Colorado was giving grant, $15,000 as a grant for small business owners to have access to it. But yet our community was not able to take advantage of it. But now, again, the work of the African Leadership Group is not done by one person. It's not even done just by the employees. We have a lot of volunteers that are involved in committees. So we have the Business Development Economic Committee members led by Solomon Mwanga. And we have people we have Jamal from Liberia, we have Tayo from Nigeria, we have Bill, a CPA from here, we have Megan, that's from the World Trade Denver. So all this expertise was brought together to put this amazing program for you. So on August 9th, if you are interested in import and export, if you are interested in learning how do I put my business document together to have a chance to get approved, If you are interested in knowing about what are the resources that are currently in the state of Colorado, we have Wendy, the CEO of Energize Colorado, as a panelist. So please, you don't want to miss this event. Also, we have panelists that's going to be coming to talk about the international market. We have the minister, advisor to the President Macky Sall, Minister Serengei Job, that's going to be coming. He was the former head of Nestle in Africa. We have Professor ALG that's going to be coming from the International UN Program as a panelist. We also have a lady named Cynthia from Togo that's going to be coming to talk about investment throughout the continent of Africa. But we also have our keynote speaker, Professor Afrik, that's going to be coming from Ghana. Now, when you talk about diversified knowledge, when you talk about diversified program, this is the panel that you don't want to miss. August 9 at the Denver Botanic Garden from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Visit the website again, usalg.org, to get more information. But Amadou, that's something that I know I'll sign up. I'll be the first one over there because all of us, most of us, somehow we have a little bit of entrepreneurship spirit in our DNA.
It is diversified knowledge, diversified expertise, and this will benefit you at every level, even if you're just thinking about starting a business and you have not yet. Believe me, I've been into one of those pre-person meetings, and I can already tell you, just from the rehearsals that we've done, I myself, as a business owner, have learned a lot, and gotten a lot of information. So, and also, sometimes the problem in our community is people have a business and they may not even know that they're legally considered a business or that they should be a business. The Uber drivers, the delivery drivers, right? The hairdressers, which we have a lot of in our community, or the tailor, right?
Yep.
The small shop owner at the corner, and those are all of those things are businesses, and there's a way that you can structure, or that you should structure your business so that you can benefit from the things, but you also should structure your business in a way where you will not have any legal issues with your taxes or any other things that may hinder your business down the road. We also having, as Papa just said, it's an international panel that's coming together, and this is the ultimate international panel. We have Professor Eric Asibi all the way from Ghana. We have Mrs. Cynthia all the way from Togo. We have Professor Alyunjai, who's coming from the UN and has worked with a lot of international organizations. And so he has that really background and the knowledge and the baggage to really tell you, give you the information that you need to be able to invest internationally, not only outside of the U.S., but not only in Africa, but anywhere outside of the U.S. We also have Professor the Minister Serengei, who was actually the head of Nestle, not just in Africa, but he was also the head of Nestle worldwide for some years. So it's something that's really interesting. The ultimate panel is your one-stop shop for everything that you need business, not only locally but internationally. But Papa, why was it important for us to have this international panel this time?
Amadou, and before I answer the question, let me add a couple of partners that we have that's going to be joining us and that's going to be offering some of the resources. Our dear friend Omar Montgomery, the president of the NAACP, the Aurora chapter. And the NAACP just came up with a program where they're giving grant from $2,000 to $5,000 to start a business. So they're going to be part of the business summit, and they're going to be offering this grant. And I'm not talking about loan, I'm talking about grant. All you got to do is be able to put together your business document, and you got a chance to have a grant that will allow you to either start a business or to really boost your business. But another thing also, we just had a conference call with Amazon that have over $100 million in grant money that they're giving to black and minority business owners. They're going to be part of this program. It breaks my heart. All the time I sit at this table, I sit at some of this meeting to see all these resources. But yet when I look at the name of people that are taking advantage of these opportunities, our community is not there. Our community is simply not there. Now, we know that as an organization, as community leaders, we have responsibility. Our responsibility is to identify these resources, to put something together like a panel and present it to you. But you as community member, you have responsibility as well. And I really want you to take a moment to think about it. What can you do? Because when you better yourself as a business owner, you better the entire community. And all you need to do is be present. We can open the door, but it's for you to walk into that door. So I'm asking you, pin this on your calendar. August 9 at the Denver Botanic Garden. August 11 actually at the Wednesday, August 11 at the Denver Botanic Garden. Come take advantage of these resources from the NAACP, from Amazon, from World Trade Denver, from Energize Colorado, from our CPA. So if you are struggling knowing how to put your business document together, we have somebody that's going to do it for you. If you need help to fill out an application, we have somebody that's going to do it for you. But most importantly, you're going to have high-profile people in the audience, because owning a business is all about marketing, it's all about networking. Because I believe that there is nothing one person on their own can achieve. You're always going to need other human being, and that the platform will be creating for the community.
Yes, and that is a great platform to take advantage of. As I said earlier, when we started this show, and I say this every morning, it's a community-oriented show where we bring you community members, business leaders, to share the resources they have with you. Again, the key word there is the resources. We are bringing all these partners so that they can offer the resources that they have. But those are just resources, and they will only remain resources unless we make the decision to take advantage of them. And the first way of doing that is by being present, to know what the resources are. And then from there, taking the decision and taking the next step to make that phone call, to write that email so we can have more information and be able to take advantage of those resources. Those are 3 days that we've already talked about. But as we told you, this is a month-long celebration. And we are only covering the programs that ALG is putting on. But then again, there is the Taste of Ethiopia going on. There's the Dashiki Days, and there are a lot of other programs happening this whole month. So just bear with us. All these programs are going to be great programs. Now that we've talked about our Cultural Celebration Day, the education, we also talked about the business. Let's move on to the fun night. The amazing night. This night, I know Papa is going to take this opportunity to, again, outdress all of us at the gala. It is Friday, August 13th, the African Pact Gala. And again, the gala has the theme of the overall event, standing taller and prouder than ever. This is going to be the 6th annual gala. It's happening at the Denver Botanic Gardens.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the gala.
Well, Amadou mentioned it. First and foremost, I'm going to tell everybody, dress to impress. Dress to impress. So don't take this slightly, because if you don't show up with your triple A game, I'm not even going to say your A game, triple A game, you might be one of those like, Papa, I'll be back. Let me go home and come back, because I've seen it. So dress to impress. This is a gala at the highest level it can be. Now, as Amadou mentioned, the main theme is standing taller and prouder than ever. And this is the time where we're going to have all the VIP, all the high-profile people in the community for a fun evening. And we're going to be having a VIP reception. The governor will be there, the mayor will be there, and a lot of other elected officials. But most importantly, also, we're going to be having our international guests. They're all going to be there. If you're looking for a venue and a platform to rub shoulders with these people that you see on TV, or these people that you could be doing business that's going to transform your life, that is the place to be. Now, tickets are going fast. So when we did the gala in 2019, we had over 1,000 people. This year, we only have 300 limited seating. And Amadou, I want to take this time to thank our sponsors that sponsors this event. If you're out there watching us and are interested in sponsoring, would love to have the opportunity. Again, visit the website at usalg.org so you will be able to sponsor. And Amadou will come back and talk about the keynote speaker in a little bit. But it's going to be at the Denver Botanical Garden. It's going to be a fun night. Again, Carlo Du will be performing a concert at the Denver Botanical Garden that you don't want to miss. Again, dress to impress, Amadou.
There you have it. It's again dressed to impress. It's the gala, and if you've been to one of our galas, as Papa said, you have to come ready. You have to come ready, dressed and impress. It's also Carlo D is performing once again, but we are also taking this opportunity to celebrate everything that we have done throughout the year, and we've listed some of those things. But this is also an important event, right? Because as we say, everything that we do is for the community. It's work that we do for the community, and we do it with the community. But it's also work that is not free. Right, it's not free work, it's not free labor. The event that we put on, the partners that we have on, all of our events are usually 90% of our events are free to the community.
Yes.
All you have to do is come and attend, come and take advantage of the resources. But the gala is also a way for us to raise money and raise funds for our next year of events.
Yes, and if you out there are the community members, you know that the African Leadership Group is an organization that does not wait on people in order to address the need we have in the community. Either that's a public speaking class or leadership program or our program for our kids or home ownership, woman empowerment. We always find a way to be there to address the needs. But yet, you need to know also, all those programs that we run are not funded. Because we're not an organization that make excuses to address. So we don't wait on funding to do what we need. And as Amadou mentioned, all this program we offer to the community, it's at no charge. This is the only time we're reaching out to the community, to the business owners, to the corporation, to come and help us raise money so the next year we can have some funding to address all the needs. The gala, the tickets, you visit the website, you will see how much it costs, and we have community table. But again, it's a fundraising event. So when you come and support us, when you come and help us raise money, just know that you are putting it toward the community that we all share, that we all love. So come and support us, come and help us raise money for next year program and next year event, Amadou.
Yes, help us, support us, help us raise money for the next year's program, the next year of events. Help us so that we can put on better programs, be able to give you better resources so that we can better our community. That's the way where we can help our business owners to build stronger and better businesses, to offer more employment to our communities. It's also the only way we can make sure that we have the voice at that table and bring on our parents with our parent engagement organization, that we are offering the programs that our kids need so that we can offer the best education to our kids. But let's talk a little bit now about our keynote speaker for the gala on Friday, August 13th. Again, it is Friday, August 13th at the Denver Botanic Gardens, and tickets are going really, really, really fast. As Papa just mentioned earlier, we only have 300 seats, and that is considering that in 2019, the last gala we had over 1,000 people.
Yes.
So you can already see how tickets are running fast. Tickets are really, really running fast. Make sure you get yours before they sell out. But we have as a keynote speaker, Professor Moussa Seydi from Senegal. Tell us a little bit about our keynote speaker for this event.
As mentioned earlier, Amadou, and I think there's a lot of things that this great nation can learn from other countries. And one of the things was how the pandemic was handled in this country. And we know there was a lot of political division, tension on how we should handle. So Professor Moussa Seydi, he's a scientist from Senegal. I tell people he's the Dr. Fauci of Senegal. At some point, Senegal was ranked number 2 on how they handle the pandemic. So I think it would be great for him to come and share his best practices to the leaders that we have here. And he's so excited to be here. He's so excited to come and learn also from leaders from this country and establish that collaboration. I'm one of those that believe that the world is a village. I believe that there is not one single country that can stand alone by itself to emerge as a developing country. I believe that every country, all countries in the world need each other. They need to share best practices. They need to learn from each other. And the African Leadership Group is doing its part by bringing all the leaders around the world to come there, share their best practices with the leaders we have in Colorado.
Yes, and again, this is the case with everything. We bringing in experts for the education. We're bringing in experts for the business. We're bringing in an expert for the gala to talk about best practices to make sure that this exchange that we have goes beyond the cultural exchange, that we are exchanging our best practices in all areas so that we can better ourselves, better our communities. Because as immigrants, most of us are moving for better opportunities, but a lot of us also come from very rich backgrounds where we have a lot to offer to the countries that are welcoming us, and the countries that we now call home. And as you know, if you've lived somewhere and you go somewhere else, you tend to have, the ability to see what worked there, what works here, and be able to have the best of both worlds. And that is what we are offering with all these programs. After August 13th, we are heading on to August 21st, Saturday, yes. August 21st. One of the things that we talk about here is owning your home, home ownership. Earlier, we talked about having the buy-in of a community. And one of the ways where a person can really buy into a community is when they have something that belongs to them, especially when it comes to a house. And being able to own a house, now you are now part of the community. People all of a sudden, when they own a house, get interested into the city hall meetings. When there's a pothole in your street or your tree, or you didn't mow your lawn and you get a ticket. All of a sudden, now you are more aware of a citizen. You know more what's going on, because everything that's going on is having to affect you. You are more of a community member, because probably what affects your neighbor's house can affect the value of your house. And the way that we know it is important, because as part of facilitating that integration is becoming homeowners, so that we are fully integrated within our communities. And that is why our home ownership workshop and our home ownership committee is putting on a home ownership workshop on Saturday, August 21st. And this will be at the Summit Event Center. So again, that's the Summit Event Center in Aurora, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And the theme of that is standing with our community to build generational wealth through home ownership and financial education. Tell us a little bit about the home ownership workshop.
Yes, our viewers are probably wondering, gosh, how ALG is putting all these things together, how they do this. Let me share with you what the secret is. The secret is being willing to partner and collaborate with other people and other organizations. And I want to use this opportunity also to thank the Denver Botanical Garden, because we're going to be having our business committee there. We're going to be hosting the gala there. Brian, the CEO of the Denver Botanical Garden, we are so grateful. We are so just appreciating the fact that you gave us the key to the Denver Botanical Garden, and this place became home for us. So I'm saying this to say, if you are a community leader out there, if you are an organization out there, please seek out partnership and collaboration. That's the only way we will strive as a community. But to come back to the home ownership workshop, one thing that we believe here, we believe in building generational wealth. And we know for fact the first step of doing so is owning a home. We know right now the market in Colorado is crazy. And most of us will tell you that if we knew what we know now, we'll buy a home the first year we'll get to this country. But Amadou, what was missing back then? Something like the African Leadership Group, something like the Home Ownership Committee, people with the knowledge, the resources, and the expertise to guide you through the process. Most of us spend years and years of renting. Today, the house that you are buying at $500,000, 10 years ago, you could have the same house at $200,000. And again, as an organization, we never want to sit on the sideline and watch things happen. So one thing that I've learned from Professor tell us there's just a couple of kind of people that watch things happen and people that make things happen. We want to be part of those that make things happen. And what we want to make happen in this home ownership is taking whoever is ready from our community from renting and becoming homeowners. You have lenders, you have real estate brokers, you also have programs that give down payment assistance. First Bank just came out with a program where they even give you a grant that you figure out a very flexible payment. So I'm not the expert, I don't have all the answers, but I know the resource will be there. So please, please make it a point to attend and learn about, even if you own a home, you know people that are currently renting. You could be that one that's going to be extending a lending hand that really transforms somebody's life.
Yes.
So it's going to be on August 21st at the Summit Event Center, Amadou. And I want to take the time to thank all the people we have on our business, on our home ownership committee, starting with B. Gonzalez, Jen, George, Laura, Astu. Thank you so much for your leadership and helping us build generational wealth in our community.
Yes, thank you. And as Papa said, he's not the expert, but we do have a lot of experts that are going to be there. He just listed them. We have credit specialists that will help you build your credit if you don't have any credit, or if your credit is not that good, that will help you repair your credit. We have bank lenders, Astu and B. Gonzalez, that will help you get there. And then we have realtors, Jan and George also, that will be there to help you. Again, like I said, it's a one-stop shop for everything that you need, from building your credit to repairing it if you already have credit but your score is not up there, to getting the pre-approval, talking to the lenders, to finding a realtor that will find you your home. So it's from building your credit all the way to getting the keys of your house, that we have community members that are here and that are ready to help you go and get into your house and be there. So we've talked about 5 days, Papa. 5.
Look, Amadou, and obviously, and I said this, we are so grateful to the community members that are volunteering and helping to make this happen. Obviously, we know for a fact that there's nothing we could do by ourselves and on our own. And the only way this is possible is the entire community getting involved in it.
Yep, and so thank you for being there with us. Thank you for hanging around with us. Thank you for coming and taking care of this and taking advantage of these opportunities, because the work that we do is one thing, going out there and getting the resources, but if there is no one to take a benefit, to take advantage and benefit from those resources, then all the work that we do, just becomes zero. Because if we're doing the hard work to bring the resources and there's nobody to take advantage of them, then it is no use. But we started the month with a community celebration.
Yes.
We are also ending it with another community celebration.
Yes.
This time we're going to Arvada.
Yes.
And taking it to the Arvada Center, which is also another great partner of us that we are working with. And Carlo D, who opened it, will also be closing it at the Arvada Event Center, and that is on Thursday, August 26th at the Arvada Center from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tell us a little bit about that event.
Yes, Philip and the Arvada Center, thank you so much for your partnership and collaboration. It's great, and this is what I keep talking about. Collaborating, partnering, that will really help you to make all this dream that you have become a reality. So we're going to be at the Arvada Center on the other side of town, where all the people from the west side will get a chance to learn about the African Leadership Group, to learn about what the African Leadership Group is offering. So we're very excited to host a concert and a celebration at the Arvada Center. Again, you can visit our website or visit the Arvada Center website to learn more about it. I cannot stress this enough. Tickets are going out very fast. So if you are planning to attend this event, make it a point to go visit the website and secure your ticket. But we started with a big celebration. We're going to end it with a big celebration also.
Yes, started with a big celebration, ending it with a big celebration. The overall theme, again, is standing taller and prouder, standing taller and prouder than ever, standing taller and prouder than ever. We all know this past year and a half has been a horrific year for a lot of us. We've lost a lot of community members, and our community has really suffered from the COVID pandemic and everything that came from the pandemic itself. But we are now out of the COVID pandemic finally, and we are standing taller and coming together as a community, celebrating our achievements and casting the vision of our next year when it comes to our programs and bettering our community through education, through business ownership, through home ownership, and making sure that we have the resources for our community so that we can better our community. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for accepting to come back as a guest. I know you are still hurt of being fired as
yes,
as a host, but thank you. This was a great show. Thank you so much. What is your last message to the community?
So I just want to let the community know, and everybody out there, we are a very resilient community. And as African immigrant, you know that we overcame a lot of challenges from Africa. Some of us witnessed civil war. Some of us witnessed tragedy. Some of us really had to overcome a lot of challenges before we even got to this country. And when we get here, we have to overcome the language barrier. We had to overcome the culture barrier. And we did it all, and we're still standing taller and prouder in this country. And that's why it is extremely important for every single one of you out there to join us and celebrate. You don't have to be formally a member of the African Leadership Group to join us to celebrate. I want to invite our friends from the Black community, people from the Colorado Black Art Festival, people from the NAACP, our friend from the Asian community, our friend from the Hispanic community, our supporters from the Caucasian community. As I mentioned, this is a family affair. Our family members is every single human being from this great nation. We look forward to having you among us to celebrate with us. It's going to be a great, fun month of August. Thank you so much for allowing us in your space, and we would like to have you in ours during the month of August.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining us for another great show of your ALG Weekly. As we had a guest today, Mr. Papa Dia, founder and executive director of the African Leadership Group, and we were talking about the African Impact. So African Impact 6th annual session, and as we just told you, we have a lot of events this year, starting on Saturday, August 7th, starting on Saturday, August 7th with the Community Cultural Celebration, Monday, August 9th with our Educational Forum, and then on Wednesday, August 11th, we have the Business Summit. On Friday, August 13th, we have the Gala Ownership Workshop, and then we will be closing the month on Thursday, August 26th with a concert at the Ervada Center with Carlo D. We are only able to put this event together because of you, the community members who are always there for us and standing with us and doing this work with us, but also because of our partners, the businesses that sponsor us, the event centers that welcome us, the organizations that welcome us and welcome our community, so that we can have our events there, and all of our supporters, the individuals who have supported us throughout everything. But we could not do this without our year-round volunteers, our committee members. We have over 11 committees, and all those committees have at least 5 members. In every single one of those committees have at least 5 members, and these are committee members that come here every single week. Some of them meet weekly, some of them bi-weekly, some of them on a monthly basis, but they are always here to put on the events for you, always here with their expertise, their knowledge, ready to share that with us. And this is a great way of celebrating them, and the only way we can thank them and celebrate them is by having community members come there and take advantage of the resources, and so how those resources have helped them and helped us as a community. That will be all for our show today. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next Monday. Before then, please be helpful, take care of yourself, and take care of the people around you. Thank you, and have a great day.
Yeah, it was good. It was toward the end.